everybody, I'm Mike from Electric City Sentai DenziCaster, welcoming you to the DenziBlitz. Today it is part 4 of our 9-part look at Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger here on the ECS network. It's episodes 18, I literally just looked over there and then blanked, 18 through 23 of Dekaranger is what we're taking a look at today. Now, this is, of course, just an intro. If you've watched the last 3 weeks, you kind of know the spiel. In fact, the outfit probably looks very similar. So, here's the deal. This was originally from our Facebook run of DenziBlitz before it was ever going to wind up here on the network, on YouTube. So, there's going to be some difference in video quality. There's going to be some difference in audio quality. Apologize for that. Stupid me, I never thought this was actually going to be put on YouTube. So, I deleted all of the originals. My bad. So, but please do take a look. This is the beginnings of DenziBlitz, is what you're about to watch. And it is the show, looking at Dekaranger, that got me into Tokusatsu. This is the show that got me, well, I shouldn't say Tokusatsu, it's the show that got me into Super Sentai. Now, one thing that you're going to be hearing throughout, it's going to sound really, really strange. Other than the Facebook exclusive and Facebook first stuff, you're also going to hear me say that the next show we're watching, and I may have said it over the last few weeks, the next show we're watching is Kamen Rider Decade. Obviously, that's the show we just watched about 4 weeks ago. We wrapped that up, so ignore that. Please, though, do enjoy this as we get through episode 23 of Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger, and we go through the whole emergency and such with the show. It's a fantastic show. It is the Super Sentai that just hooked me in. So please do enjoy, folks. I hope you like it. Now, we've only got 1 more week after this of the old Facebook versions of the show. In 2 weeks, we're actually back to completely original episodes, and it will be finishing up Dekaranger. I've still got, if I glance over here at the screen, I've got episodes 29 through something still to watch of that show for you guys out there in YouTube land. So, folks, I hope you enjoy. The things I would normally say at the end of the episode, we're going to get out of the way now, because whatever I said at the end of the episodes back on Facebook probably is out of date at this point. Please share, like, subscribe, though that never goes out of date. Your comments are welcome, your likes are appreciated, so anything along those lines, folks, please spread the word if you enjoy the show. If you'd like to support the show and help us out with new equipment or new software or new stuff to watch, things like that, you can do that over at the Cafe Press store, cafepress.com/ECS network, where you can find cool hats, you can find shirts, you can find glasses, mugs, all kinds of things there, with the DenziCaster stuff, Rage Quit Radio branding, 8-Star Anime, Canon Mike's Movie Night. There's all kinds of really cool stuff there to check out. And, of course, interact with us. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/DenziCaster, or we're on Instagram, instagram.com. We are at ECS Network, and on Twitter, we're at ECS Podcasts, plural. So check that out as well, and interact with us on social media. We certainly appreciate it, and we love to hear from anyone that watches our shows. Opinions, good or bad, agree or disagree, we love to hear it all. So please check us out on all of those social media outlets. In the meantime, from future Mike to past Mike, you take it away, buddy. We've got Tokusou Sentai DenziCaster Part 4 right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DenziBlitz. I'm your host, Mike Brown, and a couple of little housekeeping issues before we get too far in. First things first, got to apologize. It was not a mistake that you didn't see anything show up on the ECS network, and there was no DenziBlitz last week. That's largely due to stuff beyond my control. We just got a new internet connection here at the house. It has wreaked a small amount of havoc. As far as my schedule goes here with getting my stuff up and the methods by which we do that, my laptop over here also is on its last leg. Our main computer's in the shop. So we are getting stuff up. It will be slow, unfortunately, for the next couple of weeks, but it is going up. In fact, the 7 Wonders episode of RQR Plays is uploading as we speak. So just some technical difficulties. Hopefully that's not going to be anything too bad going forward. Now, that said, it is time to get back to the DenziBlitz. We, I guess, took the 4th of July week off. I don't know. So today we're going to take a look up through episode 23 of Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger. So we are just shy of the halfway point in the series. Another bit of full disclosure, I've actually recorded this episode once. I recorded it last week, but the technical difficulties basically scratched the episode. So we're going to redo this, basically. I discovered also Facebook's 1 gigabyte upload limit for files and videos, so who knew? So, looking back at this batch of episodes, 6 episodes total, I believe it was 18 through 23, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, there you go. 18 through 20 were largely character development episodes. So we're going to kind of skip those to a point. They were focus episodes on our various Rangers. There was a focus episode on Yellow in there. There was a focus episode on Red, one on Blue. They introduced some really cool concepts through them. Very much recommend watching them. One episode, the one focusing on Red, basically made very intriguing use of the stereotypical, tropish, let's go to ancient Japan episode. Actually breaking the fourth wall without breaking it, showing that it was really just a standing set at Toei. So even going so far as to say they were going to Toei Studios to make use of their samurai set. Really cool episode, though. And the episode that's the footage from that episode lent to the only time that I'm aware of in Power Rangers that the Super Sentai actors, or at least the Red Ranger's actor, was seen in a Power Ranger show. So, on purpose. So, check that out. It's pretty cool. There was also an episode on focusing on Blue, where we had the body switcher episode. Again, this is something that's been done in Tokusatsu and Super Sentai before. It is a bit of a trope where the monster and the hero switch places. Making good use of the instinct, the teamwork, and the detective work of our heroes to figure out exactly what was going on. So, very cool episode. One concept I want to touch on from that episode that I didn't notice my first go-around. This is why it's actually sometimes worth going back and re-watching some of these shows. I haven't seen this in over 10 years. The alien in episode, I think it's 19, the alien monster wears a collar, a metal collar that allows him to be understood. It's sort of like a translation collar. And it gets broken before he switches bodies with Hoji, with Deka Blue. The result is no one can understand Hoji, because when Hoji speaks, he's speaking in the alien voice, in the alien language, which, if you stop to think about it, doesn't really make any sense, because you're switching minds from body to body, but so you should still be able to speak the language you spoke before you switched. That's one of those don't look too close or you see the zipper moments. But it made for a good obstacle for the hero. If you look closely at both Swan, Dr. Swan, and Commander Kruger's costumes, they are likewise wearing collars, but theirs says S.P.D. on it, so you sort of assume it's part of the uniform. But they're both alienizers. They're heroic alienizers, but they're alienizers nonetheless. And so it kind of makes you stop and think, is that collar there as a translation device? Because you never really see them without it. Interesting concept. And like I said, something I never really paid attention to the first go-round in the show. But moving on here, I really want to focus on episodes 21, 22, and 23. Because this is the formal introduction of the 6th Ranger. Now, as we mentioned before when we talked about Commander Kruger transforming into Deka Master, in this series he is the extra hero, and there is sort of a distinction between the extra hero and the 6th Ranger in one of these shows. The 6th Ranger has all the trappings of the team. He is similar costume. It fits in with the theme and look of the team and so on. And he is going to be part of the team wholeheartedly. He is actually a Ranger, 6th Ranger. He's part of the team. And, he'll be part of the roll call and the whole 9 yards, right? Whereas The extra hero, that's not always the case. Sometimes he has the trappings of a hero, of the Rangers rather. He has the same style costume, the same look, the same type of weaponry, and so on. A lot of times he doesn't. For instance, the first extra hero in Super Sentai history would be Ninjor. It's what we would call him here in the U.S. Ninja Man in Japan. That's from Kaku Ranger. That is the first time we have the hero who has none of the trappings of the team. He's just there. He's another hero in the same world. He will work with the team more often than he won't, but he often won't. Other examples of this would be characters like Bull Black. Initially, I think eventually they considered him a Sixth Ranger, but initially he's an extra hero. VRV Master, which was the Phantom Ranger here in the U.S. There's an example of being a ranger in one country and then being an extra hero in another one. Auric from Power Rangers Zeo. I forget what his name was in O Ranger, but these are all examples. Dekamaster falls into the extra hero portion of the lineup because he is a character that is not always with the team. Often, in fact, he is not with the team. He is not part of that team dynamic. He is the commander. He is apart from the team. But when Tetsu shows up, one of our Rangers from elsewhere in the cosmos, again showing that the Dekarangers really are an interstellar police force, he shows up. He is definitely the Sixth Ranger, all the way down to his costume has the number on it, although his is a Roman numeral, for 6, showing that he is the 6th member of the team. Predominantly a white Ranger, as far as the coloration of the costume, if you're going to put him into one of the color spectrums. And similar costuming, he has a different style henshin device, transformation device. In this case, it's a brace instead of the SP license handheld device. And what I find intriguing about the character, and what I really like, first things first, just the structure of his introduction. Normally, this day and age, your 6th Ranger is spoiled before the series ever goes to air. His stuff is already in the toy catalogs, and we've already seen the costume and such. And you also wind up where he is usually introduced within the first 10 to 13 episodes. Very quickly nowadays you wind up getting that 6th Ranger, and part of that is because, simply put, it's as I've said time and again, you're watching a 25-minute toy commercial when you're watching one of these shows. So they want to get the toys out there, and they want to get them out there as quick as they can, and they want to advertise them. That's all well and good. But I've always railed against something, even in Tokusatsu, that is created commercially first and creatively second. This show is an example of how you can have both. You can have a creative property that is commercially successful and commercially solvent. And that's what you have here. So they wait to introduce the character until 20 episodes in, almost halfway through the series. They introduce him with the debut of a serious villainous force. It's a 3-part episode. Part 1 serves to introduce the Mad Brothers. Basically, you have 3 characters. There's Bon Goblin, who is basically the dumb brute. Very strong, very resilient, dumb as a brick. Then you have Succubus, which is our femme fatale of the team, and in many ways she's the brains until the brains show up, and then she's the hell-bent for leather fighter. Then you wind up with Blitz, and Blitz is the brains of the team, the most dangerous member of the outfit. He's the ringleader. In many ways, this would have been a good setup if they had stuck around for the rest of the series as the main villains. Now, of course, that's not to be. Decaranger's very episodic, very case of the weekish, and our main villain at this point is pretty obvious that it's Agent Abrera, although he is more of the behind-the-scenes mastermind, pulling the strings, mob boss type character. He's the facilitator, not the instigator of most of the schemes. So we have the introduction of these characters, the Mad Brothers. We see that, frankly, our heroes can't stop him. Even with Deca Master's help, our heroes cannot stop this trio. It is not until the arrival of Deca Break, that would be Tetsu, our 6th Ranger, who initially is not there to be a 6th Ranger. He is there as a one-time in and out. He's there for this case and he's going to leave. He's part of an elite task force within S.P.D. called a Tokyo, which I'm probably terribly mispronouncing it. But a Tokyo, which are distinguished by the fact that their badges are gold instead of silver, are elite one-man task forces who go out, face down whatever the massive threat is, and return to base. It goes to show exactly how strong he is because he takes out one of these threes with no help whatsoever. Just him. The rest of the team were rickrolled by this guy. Specifically Bon Goblin. He destroys Bon Goblin by himself. So where the rest of the team couldn't even put a scratch on him. So that speaks to the debut of the character. And his debut isn't until the very end of episode 22. Even then, it's in costume as Deca Break. We actually get the development of the character and such in the full debut in episode 23. And when we get that full debut, they do a couple of things that I think are very cool pieces of storytelling. One, they then establish exactly how powerful Blitz is. The entire Dekaranger team combined, even with Deca Master's help, could not destroy Bon Goblin. Deca Break did. The entire team could not destroy Succubus, but Blitz did. By himself. Blitz, in an attempt to stop Deca Break, winds up killing his own partner / sister, whatever that relationship is, Succubus, winds up killing her, or almost killing her, but he's the one that does the mortal wound. So we now see that he is at least as powerful as Deca Break, and we know that Deca Break is more powerful than the entire Dekaranger team. Little subconscious stuff that you think about, or maybe you don't think about while you're watching the show, but it clicks a little bit in the back of your mind. So when you get to the final fight, the climactic battle, it's Blitz versus Deca Break, and Deca Break is losing. The rest of the team shows up, the main 5, and they wind up, through the power of emotion, they're not willing to lose, and that becomes the big story for these episodes. Deca Break believes in the cold, calculating method of combat. Emotion has no place on the battlefield, that type of guy. Whereas, especially with the arrival of Asuka Bonbon, Deca Red, the Earth Branch philosophy is more along the lines of a very romanticized version of a policeman. Justice will always prevail. And the emotion and the love of justice is what carries them through the day. Well, in Tetsu's own words throughout the episode, that's nonsense. And he winds up basically explaining how ignorant they are and so on, and just dismisses this mentality until it is through the sheer force of will that comes from this emotional mentality that the Dekarangers withstand the ultimate attack of Blitz that severely hurts Deca Break, almost takes him out of the battle, and deals the mortal wound to Succubus. So they're able to withstand that attack through sheer force of will, all the way down to Deca Break even telling us their suits shouldn't hold. How are they able to withstand this? He says that at one point because we assume Deca Break's armor and such is far more sophisticated than the rest of the Rangers, and the rest of the Rangers are able to hold up under this massive attack. Not only that, but combined, the team of 6 manages to take down Blitz. So we get to see the melding of the team. There is this relationship that begins to build, a certain amount of admiration. The idea of emotional combat no longer nonsense, and it provides a motivation for Tetsu to stay. He is an elite policeman. He wants to get better. He always wants to excel at his craft. And emotion, carefully used, is a way to do that. And so he sticks around. He becomes officially the 6th member of our Dekaranger team in order to learn this emotional style of combat. So really cool introduction of the character. Really well done story with some very well thought out beats in here and to plant some subconscious seeds in the back of one's mind to kind of figure out what's going on going forward. So I really dug it, really enjoyed it. Now, going forward, hopefully by the next time, so our next episode, we should wind up through episode 29-ish. So we will be doing that. That'll be the next time we're here on DenziBlitz next week. Remember, this series is on Facebook first. It doesn't show up on YouTube for a week. So, or in the case of this past week, maybe a little longer. But definitely check us out right here on Facebook. Share and like our Facebook page. If you're seeing us on YouTube, jump over to the Facebook page. If you've never seen it, it's DenziCaster, facebook.com/DenziCaster, DenziCaster. Check us out there, and if you are seeing this on YouTube on the ECS network, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all the wonderful things that we do right here on the YouTubes. So, until next time, when we have a little more Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger coming your way, I'm Mike, and we'll see you on the DenziBlitz.